Vow, view, vow, view, vow, view, vow, view, vow to view, vow, 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 vow to view,
vow to view each other's movies, even though we don't always like them, but it's okay because we love each other and movies too.
Oh, hello there, and welcome to Vow To View, a Daily Planet podcast all about marriage and the things we make each other watch. My name is Elyse Daly.
And I'm Scott Daly.
And together, we're the Dailies!
We did it.
Yay!
We did it. Even though it still clearly does not say together in the script, I was just anticipating you.
You just knew what I wanted to do.
Anticipating you.
It's because we've been together for so long now.
It's been over a year. We're back. We took last week off because we were celebrating last week. And we were hoping to try to fit an episode in after we got back from our anniversary celebration. But didn't happen.
Life gets in the way, and we just gotta enjoy each other.
We had
and
some
our
delayed
company.
flights, too. Delayed flights.
You can't rush perfection, you know?
Yeah.
You just gotta
So we are back here.
Let's do.
This is the podcast, in case you're tuning in for the first time, where both Elyse and I pick a movie and force the other person to watch that movie, and then talk about the movie, talk about how the movie relates. What?
I don't really like the word you say, force. I mean, that has a negative connotation to it, and I think we're just broadening each other's horizons.
That's true. I mean,
so we're not forcing.
We both love movies.
We're enjoying.
And movies are important to us. Yeah. And we are teaching each other about ourselves through the movies that we loved and continue to love.
So when you say force, that means you don't like the things that I like. And that's just rude.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
That's the dog getting right up into the microphone.
It's not just a couple, it's a family podcast. So, if you hear the dogs, just think.
They're here.
They're here. We're all in this together.
At least this is
we're all in this.
And it wouldn't be an episode.
Can I make you watch High School Musical?
Sure.
Does that count? Oh my gosh, I loved High School Musical.
But don't let her lick the microphone, please.
I'm going to put that on the list right now. High School Musical. The first one.
Okay.
We only watched the first one.
Okay. So we are here this week after coming back from our celebration. We were celebrating our 1-year anniversary, and we went to New York City for our anniversary because New York City...
In New York... I kind of wanted you to put that song in the thing somewhere.
Oh, we can do it our halfway song. We can put
that's good.
We'll get copyright flagged, but so what? We're not going to be YouTube partners anymore anyway.
Screw YouTube.
But I lost a train of thought thanks to you.
You were telling them about what we did.
Yeah, we went to New York City because New York City is very important to both of us individually and the two of us together.
As a couple.
So we picked a couple movies about New York City. I originally had picked a different movie. I changed my movie. Well, while we were in New York, I said, you know what? I want to talk about this movie instead. So I audibled at the last minute, but, it's my right. It's my podcast. I can do what I want. So before we get into the podcast, though, why don't we talk about New York and why New York is important to us, and then we can talk about why New York in film is important to us when we're talking about our movies. But why does New York matter to us so much? At least you tell the story.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I guess okay. So
should not be this hard.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to it. The fact that, we had first started dating, we, 3 months after we had started dating, we started talking about places that we liked to go, and I was telling you about how every summer I've been to New York, and then you were like, man, I like New York. And we were like, okay, well, I guess we should go. And I mean, this was baby dating. We had not really developed.
4 months.
Oh,
it was not.
I don't know.
It was not baby dating. Elyse likes to say that going on a trip together this early was very awkward and
Well,
scary.
it wasn't awkward. It was just, you know, like, it was a big deal. Like, it was our first trip together that we flew on a plane together with, I don't know.
I didn't realize that
For
was a
me,
big deal.
I'm a girl. It's a big deal. So I was like, oh, okay. We'll go on a trip together and we'll go to New York.
Yeah.
And so we went to New York and it was fun. And I think it was neat because we both had been quite a few times separately. And so there were different things that we each liked. And so we got to kind of see what was special about New York to each of us. So then...
That's the trip that you got mad at me, though.
Yeah. Because I was going to Europe in a couple of months. And
no, it was like the week after we got back. I thought.
Oh, yeah. It was really, really soon. But you had asked if we were still going to be together. And you made it sound like we were going to take a break. And I was like, well, I'm going on this trip with you. I don't know why you'd think I wouldn't be going on a break. We're not going to be breaking up or anything. At least I didn't think we were going to be breaking up. And then Scott wanted to take a break.
That's not what I said.
That's what he asked. Are we going to be taking a break or something?
It's not what I said. It's not what I said.
No. Let me go on a trip with you. You can pay for everything, and then, we'll take a break. That's fine.
The point of the question was you were going on a month-long European vacation.
So you wanted to give me permission to find an Italian man.
I was finding a way to bridge the subject of I do not want you to find and hook up with some random Italian man.
I did not.
Well, good.
You are the only Italian man in my life. You're not full Italian. You're part Italian. You're actually part Italian and part Irish, which is 2 of the 3 places that I'd gone that summer.
Just got to go to Greece and we're set.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to go to Greece right now, but that's fine.
No.
Anyways.
Yeah. So that was our first year.
So Scott wanted to take a break, and so I went on this nice, crazy European trip and just met loads and loads of people and came back, and Scott was like, you know what? Yeah, that's fine. We can just get back together. It's cool. I was like, okay, awesome. Anyways, so then around, what was it? It was around Thanksgiving when I started telling you about Hamilton.
You did not tell me about
Hamilton. Yes, I did.
I told you about Hamilton.
Adrian, my sister, knew all about Hamilton.
I knew all about Hamilton from the internet.
And I was trying to get you onto Hamilton, and Scott didn't like musicals before me.
That's
I'm just kidding. He did. I'm not gonna. I will say that was not true. Scott did listen to musicals before me. I just don't think that he appreciated them as much until he met me, because I am a musical.
What?
And so my life is a musical.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, so we decided we wanted to go see Hamilton, and we were like, okay, well, we'll just go ahead and buy tickets and plan a trip next summer around it. And so we bought tickets for Hamilton before the big rush of people that bought tickets before Hamilton.
Yeah, guys, we liked Hamilton before it was cool to like Hamilton.
You know, we're like real hip and in the know about what is going to be big soon. And so just listen to what we like, and then you'll be in the know too. It's cool.
I think your movie is like the epitome of not hip and in the know. So,
excuse me. Don't even.
Sorry, continue the story.
Anyways, so we got tickets to go see Hamilton.
It wasn't until July. We bought them in November.
We were going to go in the summer. Like, we weren't going to.
No, the first available seats.
Oh.
I bought the first seats for sale.
Well, I thought we were going to go maybe during 4th of July. I couldn't think of it. The holiday. 4th of July. Because we went over 4th of July the year before. But I guess they weren't available or something. And you know why they weren't available? Is because, so we got tickets, but of course, we go days. Literally days.
I think 3 days.
After Lin-Manuel Miranda decides to not be Hamilton anymore. Literally days.
It was
like, I was watching it. I mean, it was good. And, who else? I can't even think of his name right now. That wasn't in the main cast.
Who are you talking about?
Oh my gosh. The other lead. I can't think of his name right now.
Guy who plays Aaron Burr?
Yes.
Shit.
Oh my gosh. He had this awesome Christmas album that came out, and I was like, oh, we should listen to this Christmas album. And it was really good. I'm really upset at myself right now.
Keep vamping while I look it up.
It was 3 names, I think. Like, it has a junior or something at the end. Or
Leslie Odom Jr.
Leslie Odom Jr.
Yeah.
See, I knew there was a junior in there somewhere. Anyway, so both of them weren't there. But
And Philippa Sue was gone, too.
Yeah, all the leads were. They were all gone. But it's okay, because this year when we went back, there was only one person gone.
You're jumping ahead in the story.
I'm just trying to say it's okay. But anyway, so we planned this whole trip about going to see Hamilton. And we... I guess we planned it. When it got closer, Scott was like, it's okay, you can plan all of this stuff. And so I made this itinerary because I was teaching summer school and really bored. So I decided, we'll go to breakfast here. We can go to lunch here. We can go to dinner here.
Yeah, she makes it seem like that's it's such a burden. She loves doing that.
There's the only thing that I do not like about going to a place for vacation is not researching and knowing the places to go eat. Like, I need to know where I'm going to go eat. Because I'm not going to waste going to a place where I'm not going to go back to for a while and eat crappy food. I'm going to eat good food where I go if I'm going to go visit somewhere. So we eat good food and we drink good coffee wherever we go. We find good coffee shops and good food places.
That's accurate.
So anyways...
So it's July 2016 now.
Yes, July 2016 now. And Scott was like, why don't you pick a fancy place to go eat dinner? And I was, you did. You said something about, we'll have a nice dinner. Let's plan having a nice dinner.
I booked the reservation. I picked where it was.
We go eat at Tavern on the Green.
Yes.
Which I'm very excited about. And then...
And I have a very specific reason for why I picked Tavern on the Green, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
And, after I put Tavern on the Green, because I have our schedule broken down by breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Scott decides to put romantic walk through Central Park.
I forgot
where we whisper sweet nothings to each other.
I forgot I did
or something like that. And I was
so
like,
stupid.
Oh my gosh, something's gonna happen. Anyways, so we're packing up, we're getting ready. We go through the whole plan. We go see Hamilton. The next night we have Tavern on the Green, dinner. We go take our walk through Central Park. We catch some Pokemon.
There was rare Pokemon in Central Park that night.
I know.
While I was trying to find... This was right when Pokemon Go came out.
Yeah.
And I was trying to find a secluded bench where I could propose to my wife. And I couldn't find it because stupid Pokemon trainers kept walking by.
It's okay. They were very encouraging.
Yeah.
I caught a good one. That's what I like to say on the trip.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That's how I announced our engagement, was I had a picture of my ring with a Pokemon next to it and said I caught a big one.
It's true.
I think it's the best thing. I think that speaks volumes about me. So, anyways, this is turning into a long story.
Yeah. This is taking longer than I thought it was going to.
So... yeah, we walk around the park bench. I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't know it was going to happen.
Well, the thing...
because I kind of, when Scott was getting ready, I was getting ready in the other room and kind of felt the suit pocket to see if the ring was there. Because I was like, I bet this is going to be when it happens, if it happens. And I didn't feel it, but later he told me that that's where it was. So I think it was just an act of God trying to... throw me off the scent. But anyways,
maybe don't go snooping around in my jacket
I'm really
pockets
good at
anymore.
snooping. I don't like surprises. So anyways, I do. I like surprises.
So the point is, that is why New York City is important to us. It was the first trip we traveled on as a couple together. It was where we got engaged.
I could tell you more about it if you really want to know.
What is there more?
Well, there's the whole deal about my shoes. There's the whole deal about where we went afterwards.
They don't care about that.
There's our midnight snack.
We went to McDonald's at midnight because we had drank 2 bottles of champagne and were drunk, so we went to McDonald's. That's not the story. 2 bottles of champagne.
I'm drunk. I get tipsy.
Whatever. Yeah, so the point is, New York City is a very important city to us as a couple, and so we decided to go back there for our first anniversary. We are not doing that every anniversary. I want to make that very clear, wife.
I don't know why you keep saying that. You said it once. I get it.
Okay.
I don't expect something very large every anniversary. I think that the first year, you can do something fun.
Okay.
I don't expect
So the point is, we went there this last weekend and we celebrated our anniversary. We went back to Tavern on the Green. We went back to the bar we went to that night. We did not make it to do the midnight snack at McDonald's. We were a little full.
Full in.
We don't have to talk about that.
Thanks.
We don't have to talk about that.
There's nothing bad between either of us. It was just
some assholes at the bar.
There are some really irritating people in the restaurant, and you're not supposed to let things like that affect your mood, but sometimes they're just too pushy.
Scott wanted to punch someone.
And Elyse almost did.
Anyways. So New York is an important city to us. So we thought to celebrate the anniversary of our marriage, we would, on this show that we had just happened to start, pick a couple movies that represented the city to us. And your movie, you agreed to go first, Elyse, once again. And your movie was what?
My movie was You've Got Mail. It's so good. So it came out in 1998, and it turns 20 years old this year, which is insane. There's a lot of things that are turning 20 this year that I'm thinking back, and it's just crazy. But it's got Meg Ryan in it and Tom Hanks, which is the dynamic 90s duo. Anything that they were in together is just wonderful.
Gold.
Sleepless in Seattle. Joe versus the volcano. It's just all so good. So I like the movie a lot just because I like being able to see New York in all 4 seasons. They take you through the entire year.
Not just New York, a very specific part of New York.
Yes, the Upper West Side.
Yeah.
Which we went to the Upper West Side.
We went
all
to over the Upper West
Side. A lot
Side.
of places over there. I kind of, every time we go to New York, like to do little tours of places that I've seen in movies or obviously things that I've heard about. And so we went to the cafe where they were going to meet on their blind date. She put her rose in the book. We had lunch there.
When you talk on this podcast, you say words like you would never say them in real life.
I say them in my class all the time like that.
Blind date?
Is
that how you
I
talk?
do sometimes.
That's ridiculous.
It keeps them engaged, right? You gotta keep your words not sounding monotone. You gotta sound, it makes better. If you don't like it, that's fine. Sorry. But anyways.
Continue, I'm sorry.
So we went there. We went to the Starbucks. It was just Starbucks was right across the street from Zavar's, which we went to.
Mm-hmm.
Went to a little grocery store.
There's Columbus in like 70 something.
Yeah. I felt like we went to somewhere else that was in there. But I like to make those little local stops when we go see the movie. Not when we go see the movie, but when we go to New York. Because I really like the Upper West Side area. But, You've Got Mail is one of those movies where I can put it in any day of the week, any time of the day, and it just makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. It makes me happy. I really like Tom Hanks. It's Meg Ryan before she looked weird with all the plastic surgery.
Oh, man. When I was pulling up the IMDb on this, her IMDb pick is her post-plastic surgery. And, I don't know. Please never do that.
No.
You stop looking like yourself.
I'm fine. And so, I think Nora Ephron is probably one of the biggest reasons that I just enjoy this movie is because I like a lot of her movies.
She's a very good writer.
And so, it was just the perfect cast, the perfect place, the perfect everything. And so it's just, when you want to be happy, you go to New York and you remember how bad the days of dial-up were and how happy you are that now you don't have to do stuff like that. And as awful as it is, they're really saying it's okay for you to have an emotional affair with someone through the internet.
That's basically as long as the person you're dating is kind of a self-absorbed jerk, because they were both dating. Yeah, I guess we didn't. We didn't. Right? Whoa!
I'm just kidding.
We didn't explain what this movie was about.
It's about
pen pals.
An emotional affair
that
people are having with each other.
Meet in an AOL chat room and start emailing back and forth to each other.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know who the person is.
Oh, scandalous.
Meg Ryan plays a bookstore owner called The Shop Around the Corner, which is named after the movie that this movie is based on, technically a remake of 1940s. It had Jimmy Stewart in it, I think.
It did have Jimmy Stewart.
About pen pals that fall in love. But so she owns this little independent children's bookstore. He is, he's not the CEO. He's just like a big, high-level person in
his father's
book conglomerate company called Fox Books. They're opening a store in the Upper West Side, and they hate each other because they're competitors. But little do they know, they're in love through email.
Oh, such love.
And of course, they figure it out at the end.
Tom Hanks figures it out. That little rascal Tom.
So, I had seen this movie before.
Of course,
full disclosure, I'm not going to pretend like I didn't. I do not remember liking the movie. But we watched it again.
Do you like it now?
And I was surprised at how good this movie is.
It's because you like New York.
It is very much a movie that is of the city.
Every year, I really like to get a bouquet of fresh. Well, first of all, I love school supplies. It's just ridiculous. But I'm sorry, my dog. Oh, the bouquet. Sorry. Of freshly sharpened pencils. It's just that quote. I love it. And it really does. It smells so good. When you just smell the sharpened pencils. I'm in my own land right now.
This is getting really weird. Yeah. And so I think this is a surprisingly good movie. It's very adorable. It is not perfect. But there are some quaint late 90s things of it that you just find adorable. Everything, the dial-up internet being this scary unknown technology that only these people are using, and Greg Kinnear plays Meg Ryan's boyfriend, and he hates technology and is yelling about computers and internet and dial-up, and it's just hilarious because we know where this is going now. But it's the idea that's so quaint to me is that you're in a world in 98 where the internet is out. Obviously, they're talking over AOL, and the thing that's going to destroy the small independent bookstore is the big corporate bookstore. And little did they know that the actual threat is the very thing that they're using to communicate with each other. It's the internet that killed the small bookstore, and the internet that's killing most of the big chain bookstores as well. And that's something.
And I think that the big chain bookstores are trying to be like the independent bookstores, because what's holding the independent bookstores alive is the sense of community that they do have.
Right.
So if she had just kept that shop around the corner, it probably would have outlived Fox Books.
The irony is, in 2018, Shop Around the Corner would probably be a fairly successful bookstore. And there is a used bookstore right in the Upper West Side, right by the Starbucks that they filmed at. I think it was a used bookstore in 1998 because they had...
Yeah, you could see it in the background when they shot that Starbucks.
And it is still open today because we went in there while we were up there.
We did, and it was nice.
Yeah, it's huge.
Very well organized for a used bookstore.
Yeah, they had a Canterbury Tales copy from 1923 that I really wanted to buy.
You have to control buying a book.
I really wanted to buy, but I didn't. But it's a quaint, adorable little film. The idea of online dating, it was such a stigma at the point in this. It
was oh my gosh, where'd you meet? Online. Yes, and guess where Scott and I met? Online.
We did.
Well, on an app. One of those online app things.
Not Tinder, though. We were more legit than that app.
Yeah. But we did both swipe right. I don't know why I did that. I just
so
did.
Weird. But
that story is really cute too. Sorry I interrupted you, but if you ever want to hear the story about how Scott initially wooed me, it's really cute. Sorry.
Leave a comment if you would like to hear that story, because I'm not just going to give that away
magical.
For free. Oh my god, it's not good, guys.
I say that because I had to deal with magic.
Anyway,
sorry.
Yeah, so this movie, I quite liked it. Tom Hanks is always great. Tom Hanks is great in everything he does.
Yeah.
I love Meg Ryan, too. I think Sleepless in Seattle is great. We'll maybe have to talk about that movie someday. But that's one I've seen many times.
I don't want to talk about Sleepless in Seattle. I want to talk about the movie Sleepless in Seattle was based on.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair too.
Thank you.
Because I don't think I've seen. No, I've seen.
I made you watch part of it, and I don't
yeah.
think you were really paying attention. So now we'll make you pay attention.
You made me watch half of it just so you could yell pink champagne at me for 5
love
minutes.
Pink champagne.
Anyway, yeah, so what else do you want to say about this movie? I mean, like, this is one, I don't know if there's a lot to say. Like, there's not a lot of depth to get into this movie. It's cute is the word to use.
It's likable, you know, and then I think they do a really good job of showing a nice, quaint, clean, likable part of New York.
Yeah.
And so it makes it appealing for you to want to go there and appreciate.
But
no?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. But the idea that this woman could afford a brownstone apartment on the Upper West Side, owning a tiny independent bookstore. She might have
inherited some money from someone. I don't know.
Well, there's the one scene. Steve Zahn is in this movie, which I had completely forgotten. Steve Zahn is in this. He works at the bookstore Meg Ryan works at, and he's bragging about his rent-controlled apartment. And he says it costs like $450 a month, which, I mean, in today's, like in 2018, that's, oh my God, in 1995 or 1998, that's still probably pretty amazing.
Yeah.
$450.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, maybe she lives in a rent control place. Maybe she inherited, I don't know. It's just very unrealistic.
They just want it to be nice for the movie.
They just wanted to all hang out in the Upper West Side because that entire movie takes place in the Upper West Side.
And it's beautiful.
I don't think they ever leave there. For some reason,
they don't.
For some reason, Tom Hanks is living up there too. I don't understand why. Because like his office is clearly in downtown Manhattan, but he's hanging out Upper West Side,
or at least going to visit.
It is also interesting to hear, like, back in 98, the Upper West Side was like independent, artsy, like art place, like
and now that's Brooklyn.
Yeah, like it's Manhattan, because and even Brooklyn, it's moving now too, because Brooklyn's too expensive now too.
Yeah.
So it's like you get to see snapshots of how the city has changed in 20 years, because I don't think there's any artsy areas of Manhattan left, because it's just too expensive to live there. So everyone that lives there has very high paying non-artsy jobs.
We like Brooklyn too.
We do.
Yeah, we just like New York.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a good movie. Did you learn anything about me?
Did I learn anything about you?
Other than it is not okay for you to have an emotional affair with someone over the internet, because we made that very clear as we were watching.
But the movie says
there is no emotional affair to be had via electronic communication between yourself and another person.
I think we're
period.
Yes, of course, Elyse. I will not be electronically emailing with another woman.
Do you hear that, ladies?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if there's any ladies that listen to this.
There are.
All my ladies. All my pockets, ladies. All my pockets, ladies. All my pockets, ladies.
Guys, we almost made it 20 whole minutes
my
before
life's a
she
musical.
sang again. Yeah, no, I mean, this is absolutely the type of movie that I think you would like. You like love stories, and you like, I'm trying to think of the right word. It's a very non-complicated film. It's just, it's a simple story. Huh. It's a simple, classic story that's done well. And I think you like that.
I like that, especially for the type of movies I'm going to rewatch all the time.
Right, yeah.
Which is one of these.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And one of the ones that you're going to do as well, right?
Uh-huh.
One that you watch all the time.
Does that mean it's transition time? Do I get to talk about my movie for 30 minutes?
So.
We're only 30 minutes into this podcast.
Whoa.
And we only talked about your movie for like 15 minutes. So.
I know, because I was talking about the engagement story for so long.
Yeah, you took all your time on the engagement story.
Okay.
So yeah, when we get back, we will talk about my movie. And we are back. We are here now to talk about my movie.
To talk about Scott.
It is no longer Elise's turn. You've Got Mail is done, and we are here to talk about Ghostbusters.
You're right. We read that email. Our inbox is empty, and now we're moving on to something else.
Oh, I just got what you were saying. I was like, people sent us an email?
No one sent us anything.
Yeah, so I audibled. I picked a different movie. I picked 1984's Ghostbusters, directed by Ivan Reitman and written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. And this movie, I was sitting there in New York. We were in the Upper West Side of New York. We were in Central Park West area, which is where Sigourney Weaver's character lives in this movie. And I was thinking, you know what? If Elyse is picking a movie that's important to her because it
Hold up.
What?
Are you sure it's Sigourney Weaver? Because she looks an awful lot like Susan Sarandon. Don't you guys think? I had them confused.
It's Sigourney
in their
Weaver.
90s with their perm hair that was cut really weird. I think they looked kind of alike. I've done half shots and seen quite a few. Susan Sarandon looks similar to Sigourney Weaver, and their names both start with an S, so I think it's okay that I got them confused for a split second.
It was not a split second. You were like adamant that it was Susan Sarandon. You were wrong.
They both have really big eyes.
Okay, can I talk about my movie now?
Yes.
Ghostbusters was a huge part of my life. The movie came out when I was not born, but I remember, I think we recorded a copy of the movie from the television because the version of the movie I had on my VCR tape had commercials in it, and I watched... What?
Did they play it to you in the womb?
No, they did not play it to me in the womb.
Just wondering.
I watched this movie so many times that the VCR tape broke. I had, not only did I have the movie memorized, I had the commercials in between. I can still watch the movie and I know when it broke for commercials on the TV version. I know exactly what they edited out for the TV version because, hey guys, Ghostbusters, not really a great movie for kids. But
can I say really quick?
Mm-hmm.
You have had this watched so many times that our first date, we're trying to figure out what to watch. And Scott's like...
It was not our first date. It was the first time you were at my apartment.
Yeah.
The first time you came over to my apartment to watch a movie.
Yeah. Anyways, so he's like... I want to impress this girl or something. I don't know why he decided this is going to impress me, and I don't know why it did.
It did,
but he decides we're going to watch Ghostbusters because that's a movie that he just really enjoys. And so we're watching it, but I'm not really watching it because I'm just listening to Scott say the whole movie in my ear. And there's no need to have the television because there's Scott. And Scott can just tell you the whole movie, start to finish.
Uh-huh. I can. But
it's quite impressive.
So, I love this movie, and everyone loves this movie. Liking Ghostbusters is not an original thing. This is like a lightning in the bottle type movie that everyone has just fallen in love with. It's become... I've never met a person who says, I don't like Ghostbusters.
I don't like Ghostbusters.
Okay, we're getting a divorce.
I'm just
the
kidding.
podcast is over.
I'm kidding.
But yeah, I mean, this was an instrumental movie to my life. As a 6 and 7 and 8 year old, this movie and the sequel, I watched them over and over and over again. I liked them. We played Ghostbusters, me and my friends in New Jersey. Whenever I went to New York City, I was going to the areas that took place in the city. The New York Public Library plays big in this movie. Tavern on the Green is a big part of this movie.
The only reason he took me to dinner there to get engaged was because he wanted to go see where it was shot for Ghostbusters.
No, I mean, that's not... the Tavern on the Green that exists now does not look anything like the Tavern on the Green.
I know, because they shut down.
Yeah, because it was closed forever and they reopened. And, but when when I think New York, I think Ghostbusters, because I've watched this movie so many times. When I think Ghostbusters and I'm thinking fancy restaurants, I'm like, oh, the one that Louis Tully went to and nobody helped him as he was possessed by the beast. And so, like, I love this movie. And the crazy thing about this movie is how much of it goes over the head of a 6-year-old. Like, there's, like, the plot of Ghostbusters is the gatekeeper and the keymaster get together and bone. And it's their boning that brings about the end of the world. It summons...
You didn't get that when you were 6?
No, Of course I didn't. Of course I... Especially...
How immature of you.
Especially when a lot of the most questionable scenes were cut out of the version that I watched. So there's a whole scene between Sigourney Weaver and Bill Murray where she's being... Stop it. She's being very forward, and that was all cut out of the version I watched. So...
Because people don't like women being forward, evidently.
Well, it was the early 90s, and it was on television, primetime television. So, yeah, they wanted to cut that out. I don't blame them.
Nothing wrong with women being forward nowadays.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
So, Elyse.
Nothing.
I've talked enough about Ghostbusters. I will talk more about Ghostbusters. But first...
You will talk more about Ghostbusters. I want to
hear... what you have to say about Ghostbusters. You obviously had seen this movie before. This is a week where we both had technically seen the movies before.
Yes.
But you watched it again with me in preparation for this podcast, and I want to know what you thought of the film.
I will preface this by saying I do not like scary movies.
It is not a scary movie.
It's not that it is scary. I do not like movies with possession. People being possessed. I don't like those movies because there are things that are fake and there are things that are real, and I believe that that is real. So I do not like that. And so while I enjoy the parts about Ghostbusters that are fun and happy and the giant marshmallow man, I have not seen Ghostbusters as many times as you because I do not like to watch that.
But and no one in real life gets possessed by a dog.
What?
No one gets possessed by a dog in real life.
No. Not now, but anyways, without getting into other things. And so I remember the plot of this movie. I remember the song of, like, the music to this movie. I remember who is in this movie. I know the big quotes of this movie, but I had maybe only seen it once. Not once. I had maybe seen it like 2 or 3 times before meeting you. And I mean, that was in the first 26 did I meet you when I was 26 years of my life. So I liked it though, because I'm a huge Bill Murray fan, and it's just
he's so good in this movie.
He's so good in this movie. And so I enjoyed it, and I liked rewatching it again. You know,
the crazy thing to me is how it holds up. I've seen this movie. I've probably seen this movie 100 times.
You've probably seen it more than 100 times.
And
let's be real.
It holds up. It holds up. The scenes work so perfectly, and it's so funny seeing like it not only like how much New York City was based off of what I saw in this movie, but just like everyday interactions. Like I remember. There's so many misunderstandings we had as kids when watching this movie that defined what it was. Like, there's the scene when they're capturing the first ghost, and they're throwing the tables out of the way to make room to put the trap down. And right when Ray throws the first trap down, Venkman wants to do something with the table. He wants to pull the tablecloth off under all the plates. And he pulls the tablecloth off, and all the plates fall off, but the flowers are still on there. And he says, "The flowers are still standing." And when he does that, the movie cuts to an image of the trap rolling out. So when my friends and I played Ghostbusters, every time we threw the trap out, we said, "The flowers are still standing." And we had no idea why we were doing that. We didn't know what that meant at all. We completely took it out of context. And
now when you go back and you watch it, you see all those little details.
So it's like every time I go back and watch it, I find another little detail, another little thing that I misinterpreted or misunderstood or just didn't get.
And this time it was the pricing, right?
No, I had seen that before.
You had seen that?
Yeah.
Oh, you were just telling me about it then. Okay.
Yeah. There's like, it's such a clever movie. It's so well done. The special effects for the time, are rather incredible. Those ghosts look good. The puppet work with the Gozer's dogs is not bad. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man looks wonderful. I wanted for the longest time to be covered in marshmallow fluff. I thought that would be so fun.
No.
That would be so fun when Walter Peck gets covered in marshmallow fluff.
Sticky.
Yeah.
Ugh.
There's just like something about this movie that I will always love. And I will continue to watch it. And you know what? Everyone out there, I love the second movie too. I know it's not as good. I know it's a retread of basically everything in the original Ghostbusters, but I don't care because it's great.
So what did you think about the remake of the original then?
I didn't love it. I didn't think it was a very good movie. I thought there were parts of it that were really great, and I thought it was hated by people for stupid reasons. I think the thing that frustrates me as a person who loves Ghostbusters so much is how terrible I think the Ghostbusters fan community was in reaction to that movie.
Well, when you have something that is such a classic,
yeah, but
you try and. But here's okay. Go ahead. Sorry, continue. You can go off of that.
I am looking at Ghostbusters on my movie shelf right now. Ghostbusters 2016 came out. My original Ghostbusters is still on my shelf. Like, that didn't make my movie go away. Like, it didn't ruin the original movie because it wasn't as good. It's the first movie is still great, and I actually kind of appreciate it more because I saw how easy it was to screw up this formula. That like this is not a formula that just guarantees success. It's like take 4 comedians, put them in a movie about fighting ghosts, and you're gonna have a great movie. No, because Ghostbusters 2016 is not a very good movie. I love all those actresses. I think they're great. I think there's some really funny lines in the movie. It's a terrible script. It's a mess of a movie. And
I don't think their chemistry worked.
It would have been so easy to screw up Ghostbusters. And that's why I called it a lightning in a bottle. It's really just some people came together at just the right time to make this thing. And you can't repeat it. They tried. They made Ghostbusters 2. I like it, but I recognize it is
That's because of your nostalgia.
Yeah, it is a much worse movie. But that's the name of the game. Like, and you can't. Film is a business, and they were going to eventually make another Ghostbusters movie, and they might make another one day. And this idea that the movies are ruined now because someone made one that wasn't as good as the original, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and a lot of this backlash, I have to assume, was based on the idea that they were putting women in the part. I have to accept that on some level.
Which is frustrating to me. I've had this conversation with my sister about they wanted it to be great because they were putting women in the role, and they got, some of the best female comedians out here these days in order to be in it. And then they're expecting them to live up to the greatness of the people from the one before. But how about instead of just remaking all of these movies that had men with women, you create an original story for the women and make it even better?
Yeah.
But I don't want to see Ocean's 8 just with new women. Like, I like those women. I guess we'll go see it because we will.
Yeah.
But give them their own original heist story.
That's what it is.
But it's just, they're coining it off as this Ocean's.
Yeah, they're franchising it because that's the
But
world
they're going to be
live in
setting
now.
it up as the same way as the other one.
Like, kind of.
Person got out of jail, best friend, they're getting all the people together.
Yeah, but that's every thing. That's every heist movie.
Well, yeah, you listen to your podcast or whatever that you did about the formula that people follow for the heist. But I don't know. I would like to see a little bit more originality than saying, oh, this movie is bad, and it's bad because they put women in it, but,
Which is, I think we can both agree that's complete bullshit.
Yeah, and it's not because it was women, it was because it was poorly done, and now you're blaming it on women, and if you had written something for women, then it would have been better.
Yeah, I mean, I think the difference between Ghostbusters 2016 and the original is a really good example of how comedy has changed in between years. Comedy now is very improv heavy, and they don't really write jokes. They just have you go into scene and you improv some funny lines and you shoot it over and over again, and then you cut together the best jokes. And that's not what Ghostbusters was. Like, Ghostbusters was in-setting jokes, like jokes that worked in the story. And it's not even as funny as people remember it. It's a funny movie, but it's
the mannerisms.
It's a horror comedy. Yeah, I mean, and Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, and they have a very different kind of funny. It's not often laugh out loud funny. It's just like chuckling at the situation.
It's like oh my gosh, I can't believe they just did that.
Yeah.
Which is why Scott delivers these lines perfectly every time. Oh gosh. But I
love
you.
I love you too. I got distracted what we were talking about though. The thing that I have to think of is, like, we live in a world of franchises and remakes and reboots and all this stuff, and so would a original IP movie starring these 8 women that are in Ocean's 8, starring these 4 women that are in Ghostbusters, would that have been made? Would it have been made if you don't put a brand on it? And probably not. I mean, so, like, I understand, like, I want, diversity in roles. I want everyone to get a chance. I want there to be big movies that represent the diversity of our country and our world, but sometimes that's not what the world we live in. And if the only way to get an all-female heist movie made is to throw the Oceans label on it, okay, then it's worth it. That's my opinion on it.
I think that you can get it made with a better cast.
The cast of that movie is,
I know,
phenomenal.
But I think that cast alone should do it and should be able to set the narrative for whatever they want to do.
In an ideal world, I think you're right. In the real world, without a like, movies that aren't perceived as risks, like that's perceived as a risk because it's all women, which is complete bullshit. But movies that don't have that kind of perceived risk to it don't get made because they're not their original IP, and it's deemed too risky to do. So I don't know. I don't see an all women heist movie being made.
Well, but here's the deal: like, you have these women who have to do these franchise things and then don't live up to the expectation because you can't do the exact thing over again because the times have changed. And so now, are they going to redo another one? Probably not. I'm thinking about Ghostbusters. But when you have 4 of some of the strongest comedic actors right now that are women, then it's like, there's never going to be an opportunity almost for something original, but you didn't even try something original. And it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. I'm sorry. I'm just venting.
I am with you. I would love for those 4 women to be in an ensemble movie that was about anything.
I don't think Melissa really fit in with the dynamic. Actually, I think it was Kristen. Kristen Wiig is a hit or miss person with comedic timing with things for me. And I think that she's very good at extravagant characters that are very odd, and they put her in the most straight-laced role.
They made her the straight man, and I don't know why they did that. Yeah,
a good choice.
It was a bad character. It wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good movie. Like, it wasn't a good movie, and that doesn't mean.
And it was because they didn't write it for her.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you think they would because this was the plan from the beginning,
well,
that's because they didn't write it. They didn't write it. So much of the movie was not written. So much of the movie was improvisation.
But you know what, Scott?
We're off track.
We're not talking about Ghostbusters 2016. We need to shoot this rabbit.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Remember? We chase the rabbits. We chase the squirrels. We gotta shoot them down with our Starship Trooper gun. Pew, pew, pew. That's what we do when we go off topic. We shoot down the rabbits.
What?
Now we're back on topic. We shot that rabbit.
I'm so confused. Okay, yeah. So Ghostbusters. Yeah. I've talked about this movie.
Ghostbusters, the original.
Yeah, the original movie. I love this movie. I think every person in it is perfect. Sigourney Weaver is perfect. Rick
Susan
Moranis
Sarandon is better.
Rick Moranis.
She's so good.
In his little tiny role is perfect. When it was my parents thought it was hilarious. when we played Ghostbusters, I didn't want to be Pete Venkman. I didn't want to be Ray Stantz. I didn't want to be Egon. I wanted to be Ernie Hudson's character. I wanted to be Winston Zeddemore. That's who I wanted to be. And I don't know why. Because in the movie, he's unfortunately the most underwritten character. That's one thing about the movie that I wish was different, that they kind of made the one minority character out of the four. He's not a doctor. He just kind of joins the guys, and he's kind of just on the periphery, and he really has no character.
And then in Stranger Things, they make it be like he's the one that doesn't want to be no one wants to be him.
Yeah.
In Stranger Things. And it's so sad. And then they make you relive that all over again.
But I wanted to be him. I was always Winston.
You're always going for the underdog, babe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's one of the great things about you. That's what I've learned.
I thought it was cool. I like when he said that line, "That's a big Twinkie." If you've seen the movie a lot, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, no words.
And then I don't want to just start quoting the movie, so I'll stop.
Yeah, because if you get him started, he won't stop until the end credits, and then he'll just tell you the credits.
Yeah, so Ghostbusters is really important to me, and it's not the entire reason, but it's part of the reason why I love New York City so much, and I think it's cool that I got to share that with you a little bit. You and I have not gone by the firehouse together. We'll have to do that sometime. I have been by the firehouse for sure, but I think it was cool on the 25th anniversary of the movie. They hung the Ghostbusters logo from the firehouse. Sure. It's still an active firehouse today. So.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah, so that's Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Didn't learn anything new about you.
Yeah, you learned a whole lot about me.
Because I did a long time ago when I was like, oh my gosh, he knows this whole movie.
I cannot believe, I might have not been fully sober when I decided that I'm going to impress her by quoting Ghostbusters, but I think it's a testament to how well we work together.
That I was impressed by it.
That did not make you leave and never come back. Because I think any other girl probably would have said, nope, don't want to deal with this.
Yeah.
Like, even a girl that loved Ghostbusters would probably be like, no, that's a little weird.
Well, yeah, because a girl that loved Ghostbusters would be like, let me watch the movie. Be quiet. And I was just like, I find this oddly wonderful. I'm glad he likes movies.
And you've never seen Ghostbusters 2, right?
No.
Yeah, so maybe that'll be a future Vow To View episode one day. We'll make you watch Ghostbusters 2.
We'll both watch sequels of things.
That's a good idea.
Balto 2. I'm just kidding. I've never seen Balto 2.
I didn't know there was a Balto 2.
We'll watch the sequel to The Little Mermaid, which is awful. I'm just kidding. We're not going to watch that because I'm not going to make you watch that.
That's so nice of you. All right.
Yeah.
That's it for Ghostbusters 2. That's my...
What?
Or Ghostbusters.
For Ghostbusters. Not Ghostbusters. TWOTOO.
That's it for Ghostbusters also. That's my movie. It's why New York is important. And that's it. That's it for the week. So let's go ahead and pick or announce what our picks for next week are going to be. And Elyse, as always, you get to go first.
You're such a gentleman. So... you guys, it's been a couple weeks and we've got a long list of musicals. So we're going to go back to a musical and we're going to do Everything Today is Thoroughly Modern. Check your personality. Everything today is yesterday's tomorrow. Oh, I forgot the words for a second. Sorry.
Oh, no.
Anyways, it's 1920s setting. Flapper. It's in the 1920s.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But Julie Andrews is the lead. There is a Broadway musical. I'm not going to give you the whole down low on it, but...
You haven't said the name of the movie yet.
I did. Thoroughly Modern Millie. Oh, no, I just sang the song. It's Thoroughly Modern Millie. It's Thoroughly Modern Millie. So...
Yeah, another episode...
It's wonderful.
Where you're singing the entire time.
There's tap dancing in the...
I love tap dancing.
And there's
something you guys don't know about me. Tap dancing, favorite type of dancing.
I used to tap and I used to clog, so maybe I'll try and find my tap shoes and I'll do a little number for you guys.
How would that work? We're on audio. You would just put the
I
microphone
will put the
next
shoes
to the
on, and I will tap and put the microphone down by where my shoes would make noise.
Why are you saying it like that?
Why not?
Oh my god. So that's your pick for the next week is Thoroughly Modern Millie.
So if you want to be cultured, then maybe you should watch it before you listen to us, because I pick really good movies that will enhance your video repertoire. So, get that classic Thoroughly Modern Millie on your TV, watch it, and then listen together with us.
All right. That was,
I don't know.
That was well done. I was just going to let you go. You had it.
Just keep pushing. Just keep going. Just dig yourself deeper in that hole. You just keep going.
All right.
What are you going to pick?
My pick, I'm going to go back to the pick that I originally had picked for this week, but audibled on. So I am going to do High Fidelity, based on the Nick Hornby book of the same name. I'm not going to talk about it too much because I want to save all that for the podcast. But
both movies about music.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. Yeah. So that'll be what I do next week. Elyse, do we have a discussion question for the audience this week?
Oh, yeah.
I believe we do.
We do. It's talking about what cinematic city, alliteration there, giving you some little teacher tips.
Read the question.
What cinematic city is especially important to you and or your significant other? Like New York was important to us.
Yeah, and if you want to give that city, and then what movies maybe shaped your view of that city, that'd be great. Yeah, you can send those answers in, comments on the website, on the YouTube page, or you can email us at dailyplanetfilms@gmail.com. And if we like some of those answers, we'll read them aloud. We had some people respond to our question last time.
You didn't even share that.
But they did it. They did it in our Patreon Discord chat. So it scrolled away.
Well, how do I get on that?
You have to become a patron. No, I'll let you on that, but you're going to be bombarded by people wanting to talk to you. Are you ready? Are you ready for that?
People want to talk to me? Oh.
But anyway, so I couldn't read the answers because they scrolled away. So please send those via ways that don't disappear after people say things. So, yeah, I think at least is that all we had this week? Is that all we have to talk about? Anything else you want to say about love and Ghostbusters?
Love is a many splendid thing. Love lifts us up, we belong. All you need is love. Don't start that again. All you need is love.
Okay. That's all.
We'll watch Moulin Rouge one time.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I'll sing all the songs.
That's all we have time for this week, though. If you like this podcast, you can check out all the other work we do at dailyplanetfilms.com. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, basically anywhere podcasts can be found. You can subscribe to us on there. And we're actually asking everyone, even if you don't listen on YouTube, we're asking you guys if you go in and subscribe to the Daily Planet Films YouTube channel, because YouTube is changing how they do their partnership, and we have enough hours listened per month to qualify for their partnership, but we don't have quite enough subscriptions yet. And we know we have way enough people that listen to all of our different podcasts to get over that hump. We just need people to go in there and do it. So if you could do that for us, we would really, really appreciate it.
I would really appreciate it, guys, if you would do that.
Yeah. And if you like these shows and all the other shows we do, you can go to patreon.com/dailyplanetfilms and give us $1 a month or whatever else you can afford. That really helps us pay for putting these podcasts up, continuing to do them, and continuing to grow this organization we're doing.
And also renting all these classic movies that Scott does not own that I'm making him watch.
That's true. We are thinking, you're listening to this podcast on the Daily Planet podcast feed right now. We are considering spinning this off into its own feed. That's her spinning noise. So we're probably going to be looking to do that within the next couple weeks. We will let you guys know. We'll like double play the podcast on both feeds for a couple weeks as we transition. But we like this. We think this podcast is a good idea and it has potential. So we want to give it the focus and give it its own official formal show. So we're going to be doing that in a couple weeks, but
so formal.
Until then, Elyse.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks for what?
You're the best. Thanks for doing this podcast with me.
Aw, shucks. Of course, Boo.
All right.
I don't really call him Boo. I do call him Mr. Hubs.
She does. She's doing a thing now where she at least calls me on the phone every day at 4:05 because that's when she gets out of work. And she calls me and I'm usually still at work.
Because he doesn't leave for some reason.
Yeah. And the first thing she says to me the last 2 times have just been, Boo. And
You can't scare a man when you call him on the phone. I just try. I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that's all we have for you guys this week. Go out there, watch some movies, love your loved ones, and we'll see you next week. Don't laugh. I'm trying to be. We need a slogan. We'll see you guys later.
You've got mail.